This is teacher Ijeoma ONWUKEME, and we are looking at basic science for basic 5. The topic is pulley. Pulley. You can remember what we did the last time, right? We introduced simple machine and we looked at lever. I asked what is lever. You still remember? Still remember what we use a lever to do? Components of a lever, uses of lever. Okay, and I can remember telling you that lever is the simplest machine, that we have. Okay, and remember what a machine is? That tool or object that you use to make your work easier and faster. That is the machine. In the absence of a machine, you can do it, but then it will take you a longer period of time to do it. Imagine, without the invention of brooms, if you're left to use your palm to sweep, what are you going to do? When will you be through with that work? Okay, so that is what a machine does for us, and we made mention of them. We have knife. Can you imagine using your hand to cut? Is it possible? And then when you compare it to where you have your knife, or in the case you have your scissors, you can easily cut, and it is easier and it's also faster. Okay, today we want to look at another simple machine called what? Pulley. Okay, when we look at lever, we said you can use a lever to cut, like the scissors and the knife I just mentioned of, right? We can also use it to carry load, like your wheelbarrow. Can you remember? You can also use it to dig, right? Okay, now in the case of pulley, its specific duty is what? A pulley is that machine that is used to lift a load, or carry a heavy object. That is a pulley. That is its specific what? Duty. Okay? I want you to begin to look around, think. What are those things that you can use to lift an object? What are those equipments, those tools that you can use to carry a heavy object, to lift it, right? Okay? Can you remember your grinding machine? Can you remember your sewing machine? Even the towing van. Does it sound strange to you? Okay, ask mommy and daddy when next they come in contact with a towing van, they should show you a towing van and what it is used for. Okay, so these are examples of the pulley. The pulley, and like I said, we use them to carry a heavy object. Okay, let's also look at a scenario whereby we have you could have seen them in movies or when you're playing as kids, right? When we have something like this, let this represent a well, a deep well like that, okay? And let's say the water is somewhere here, and then you are to draw it. You know, they have a kind of bucket, right? They have these buckets that is attached. You attach a rope, something like this, and then you have to roll it, and then you begin to drag it up. You'll be able to carry that water and you lift it up. Okay, that's a typical example of what we are looking at today. We call it a pulley, right? Okay, I've told you what a pulley is and what you can use a pulley to do. I said you can use it to lift an object, especially a heavy one. You can use it to lift it and you drag it. Let's look at the basic components of pulley. Remember when we talked about our, what's it called again? Our lever. We said that the basic components are what? We look at the load, we look at the effort, and then of course the fulcrum. Okay, so we are still looking at something similar to this. Now, when we talk about a pulley simply, it takes this shape. There is usually, it could be a fixed one. Let's assume that this is a wood that you attach it to. Now you have something like this. Now basically for your pulley we usually have a wheel. We have a wheel and then we have a rope. A rope that will go around the wheel. And then it will go around the groove. This way. Okay, now this is our pulley. Okay, so one end of the pulley One end of the pulley is what drags your load. Okay? So remember, we are trying to compare it with what we had in our lever. Okay? One end has the load trying to draw it up, whereas the other end is where you have the effort. I know I told you what the load is. I also told you what the effort is. I said load. Load is that force caused by the object that is being what? Carried. That is your load. Now the applied force, that is the force that you apply in order to drag that your load, is what we call the effort. Okay, this is a typical pulley. In fact, this type, okay, we call it a fixed pulley. Okay, that will now take us to types of pulley. Number one, we have types of pulley. Types of pulley. So first we have one, fixed or immovable pulley. Okay, so and the second one is where we have the movable pulley. Okay, so this is a typical example of what we have as a fixed or immovable pulley. In this case, in your fixed pulley, you attach it. It's been attached to, let's say, it could be a heavy metal, a metallic object that is heavy, that is not movable. It could also be, let's take for instance, a wood that you can't move, because the idea is this: it's not movable, and so it will prevent the load from its moving. Okay, the load cannot move. All it does is what? To drag your load. Okay, that is why this is the fixed part of it. You fix it to the, and this is what is holding it, that will prevent the load from moving. Whereas in our movable pulley, we have something similar to this, but it is movable. Okay, so you can have something like this. Okay, and then if you have this, I don't know, you tell me what this reminds you of when I'm through. Okay, so you have something like this, like a hook, and of course you have your load and your effort, and this is what goes to hook, or to bring whatever to pick the load, and then from there you can drag it up. Okay, now when having looked at this, let's look at the various examples. Okay, aside the towing van I made mention of, when you go to visit construction site, that we have what we call a crane. Okay, when we go to a construction site, I want you to observe what we have there. You will notice that there is this machine, the mixer. They use, the bricklayers will be using to mix the cement, the sand, and what have you. Now there is another one that will be taking it up. Okay, the laborers will not come down to take it up by themselves. The machine is there. Its duty is to do what? It comes in this form and it picks and it takes it up, right? And that is also an example of a pulley. Okay, do we have sewing machines at home? Remember we said for the basic components of a pulley that usually we have a wheel and a rope around it. Okay, one end of the wheel is our load, the other end is our effort, right? Now consider what you have in your sewing machines. Just to remember, you have this side that you have a wheel and a rope around it. That you do what? That mommy will be doing this way and it should be moving, right? It is connected to the other end. Okay, when mommy will be, either she's pedaling with her foot, okay, or the other type. There are so many of them, but we are looking at the basic principles. What goes on in your sewing machine? Okay, so you have that your wheel, and you have the rope. It goes round, and you see the effect of it at the other end, right? Where is you have your load. Another example is your grinding machine, where mommy takes you to grind beans, either for moi moi or for your akara. You observe what is happening. You have the wheel at one end. Sometimes they put it on manually. Some, they can just press a button and it goes on. Now you see, from that wheel moving, it goes on faster, and you observe the effect of that movement at the other end, right? Now this is also a pulley. So you agree with me that pulley is everywhere all around you. You're seeing it, you see what is being used for, right? Very good. We've talked about the types of pulley. We said we have our fixed or immovable pulley, and we have our movable pulley. We've talked about the towing van, right? I don't know if you have witnessed a scenario whereby daddy or mommy's car got stuck on the road, and he or she had to go and bring a towing van. The towing van will come and pick mommy or daddy's vehicle, and as the towing van is moving, it's dragging the vehicle along, right? That is also a pulley, okay? So we've talked about the examples of pulley, types of pulley. Now, coming to the applications, that is what we use them for. We've made mention of them, right? You can use it to tow your vehicle, like in the case of the towing vehicle that we talked about. Your grinding machine, you grind, right? It grinds lots of things for you. You take your cassava to the grinding mill, you take your beans, your tomatoes, and what have you, and the grinding machine will grind it for you. It's an application of your pulley. We also have our sewing machine. Mommy will use it to sew. Your tailors also will also use it to sew for you, and you see your fabrics coming out neat, right? And we have so many of them. Lots and lots of applications of pulley, right? You still remember the definition for pulley? That is used to lift objects, or you lift a load from the ground. Remember, we said a pulley basically has a wheel, and I use this to represent your wheel, and there is a rope going round it, right, round the groove. And I said one end of it is your load, right, and one end is your effort. When we talk about effort, that human effort that you make, either to drag it, okay? Now we talk about the load. We say it is the force applied, or it's not an applied force, sorry. It's a force caused by the objects that you are about to lift. It is effort that is the applied force, right? Okay, so I wrote an assignment here. I've mentioned it. I want to repeat it again. In addition to the ones we have given you, I want you to take down your observations when next you come across a pulley, especially a towing van. One, I want you to tell me the difference between a towing van and a normal vehicle that you see on the road. Let me know the differences. Pen them down. Another one, tell me what you observe in the way it carries out its operations, right? How it picks the vehicle, how it takes it to the desired destination, and all that you observe. Okay? Thank you.